Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. Well, y'all, my bae is a little upset tonight. Because I know he is from Chicago. And, well, if you saw the game or you heard about the game between the Bears and the Rams, then you know why he's a little salty right now. And I'm not going to really go too much into the game because I live with this man. I'm in the same house with this man, so you know. But they just didn't bring it tonight. That's we're just gonna leave it at that. But I feel sorry for whoever they play next week, y'all. Whoever Chicago play next week, I feel sorry for them. But let me do my normal housekeeping administration stuff because I know I keep coming on later and I'm not coming on at 9:30. I'm gonna have to get it together, y'all. Anyway, let me let me share my own stream. Come on through. DC and chat. All right, so I have posted it out there on my thing. And so hopefully, some folk will slide on through. But it was a busy day for me at work today. Um, and I didn't get a chance to put out my little shorty until afternoon. Busy morning for me today at work, should I say. And I really wasn't even on YouTube today. I didn't really come on until like late today. I did pop on early this morning for a moment and saw that Sister Bon Cherry was getting out of the hospital. So shouts out to you, Bon Cherry. Um, I said something in your chat, but chat was moving fast. But yeah, was praying for you. Glad you are out of the hospital, and just praying for your health, sister. So anyway, my guy, my guy left. He don't want it. He doesn't want to even. I think I'm gonna talk about football, but I'm not going to because he might be listening. He might be listening. But what I will talk about for a minute is this new Netflix limited series that is actually number one in the United States, and it's called The Queen's Gambit, which is a chess term for those of you who don't play chess. And I believe it's Emma Stone that is in it. Well, she plays the adult version of the young lady. And basically, it's about this young lady who is orphaned, um, and goes to an orphanage. And when she's in the orphanage, she learns how to play chess. Now, there's some other things that are going on in the movie. Like, these people are giving these kids tranquilizers. I'm talking about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 year old kid, girls, because it was all girls. So it was an all girl orphanage. But anyway, she learned how to play chess, and she basically becomes the best chess player in the world. Kind of like, Eddie Fisher, but with Eddie Fisher, was more like, he started as this child prodigy, which is what she did too, you know, but we've never really had a female like this. And this one has her doing the time in the 60s. So it starts in the like, I would say like the late 50s and goes through the 60s to probably the maybe early 70s, at the very beginning of the 70s. Um, it just follows her from a young girl into adulthood and becoming the Grand Master of chess. I liked it because, you guys, I actually play chess. I don't have anybody to play chess with here except for the computer, but I have several chess sets made out of quartz. One is made out of pink and gray, like quartz stones from Mexico. And then the other one some is purple and what the other color is. It's a smaller version that I have up in my bedroom. But I have the big um, chess set down here in the living room. And I always thought about maybe I should teach my son how to play chess. I'm wondering if that would be something that would interest him. You know, learning the rules of chess, or if that's something that he could learn how to play, because he is a visual learner, and it is definitely a thinking game. I might, that might be something to do. My nephew knows how to play chess. My sister's son, um, and my dad played chess. He's the one who I learned how to play chess. I used to play chess with my dad when I was a kid, or he used to play chess with me so I could learn how to play chess. You know, but yeah, chess is a thinking game. I mean, and the real chess players. I mean, they read books on strategies, and yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. I'm one of those. I'm not that kind of chess player. I like playing it. You know, for the art of it, and, and because of the stimulation of the mind. But I'm not that deep into it. That I'm like reading all of these books and books and books and books. But I might read a couple. But I generally play against the computer because there's not anyone to play in the house. But it's a very good limited series. I think it's like, excuse me, I think it's like maybe 5 episodes. And it might be something you could like binge on a weekend. You know, you could like watch it all day. I mean, it's good. I watched it this weekend, and I was actually watching it while I was working. But last night I didn't really, I don't know why I didn't talk about it last night. It just, I guess, I just wasn't thinking about it at the time because it was really good. But tomorrow, guys, um, is my son's annual IPP. And with the IPP is what people get once they are out of school, and they're dealing basically with the state as far as their the services that are provided to them. Now they have ones that are called self-sufficiency ones, where the parents and the client, basically forms their own services, but there's a lot that goes into that, and we ain't there yet. But tomorrow we will be having our meeting with his caseworker at the regional center, and hopefully we'll get some good news about some services that we will be able to do either virtually, or that there are going to finally be some things that he's going to be able to participate in, because from what I understand, a lot of these services are not going to come back until sometime next year. But what we're dealing with right now is that the COVID is starting to rise again, guys. So what does that say for if these services are going to come back? Because my son is not one of the people with autism that has other medical issues going on, but many of them do. So they would be considered high risk, even though they're young people. And, I don't want him to be out there in an environment where he could potentially get it. It doesn't do anything to him, but then he brings it home to me, you know. And although I'm not old and I am healthy, I don't want to, I don't want to give this thing because, number one, his father had it, and his father ended up in the hospital twice with it. So no, 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 no. I'm cool. I'm masking up. I'm social distancing, and I work from home. I wish they could find something that he could do from home, even if it's temporary, you guys. But, I'm just rambling on about that. But the point is that the individual, I think it's called the individual, God, what is the IPP stands for? It's individual personal plan. I think it's the individual personalized plan, something like that. Um, I'll tell y'all what it means tomorrow after he has it. Tonight, I'm not thinking very well on that. But, it's going to be the meeting where we have the conversation about things that we want to do for him and everything. And there were so many things that we wanted to do for him that we weren't able to do this year. So I'm hoping that we will be able to do some of those things. Now that maybe some of the services that he hasn't been able to get for the last, I don't know what, 7, 8 months might actually be coming back. And then somebody could actually be earning their money for services, that they're actually rendering versus services that they're not rendering. Hey, Matt. Yeah, I'm just talking about tomorrow. My son has his virtual meeting with his caseworker in regards to his services, and I'm just hoping that he gets some, versus having to sit around for a few more months. This is insane to me. So hopefully this will be the start of him getting some things coming back. And then I talked about the game earlier, but I didn't want to talk about it too much because my dude is from Chicago and he's salty because Chicago didn't show up and the Rams won. But here's the thing. I didn't even realize this. But see, the Rams, although they have won a Super Bowl, they the last Super Bowl they won as the LA Rams was in 1950 something against the Cleveland Browns. The Super Bowl that they won was as the St. Louis Rams. So they've never given, isn't that a trip? They've never given LA a championship. It would be nice if they went to the Super Bowl again and actually won it this time. I certainly hope the Dodgers finish this off tomorrow night. This is just crazy. They got tonight to think about it. Hey, Cass. Yeah, the Dodgers have tonight to think about it. Think about having it together tomorrow. You know what, Cass? Do you have any? Have you done any uploads about CBD? Because I know you've done it about THC and the sativas, but have you done any about the cannabinoid? Hey, Tutu Thing Thing. If you have Cass, can you re-upload it on your channel? I would really like to get that perspective because I've done it, as far as well, I didn't really do an extensive one on it. I've done an extensive one on melatonin, but I haven't done an extensive one on it for use with autism. But I would like to see, the one for anxiety. And since I know you've done ones on the other ones on your previous channel, I was wondering. I will post a note to remind you. So, for you guys, so hopefully the meeting tomorrow for my son will go well. And we will be able to get him back on track with some services. Because, I had kind of stopped really looking for a place for a couple of weeks because I just was kind of frustrated with what I was seeing. But I'm back out there looking again. And, I'm just trying to find a place that's on this side of town with a yard or a private patio, you know, and a driveway or a garage. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's some places that I would really like to get that are in some of these gated communities that are near here, but they want too much money. And for some of them, it's not even what they want for the rent, it's what they want for the deposit. And and then on one of them that I looked at, they wanted you to take out $1 million renter's insurance policy. Like, what the F are you talking about? So, not going to happen. Not unless they come down on some of, the stuff that they're asking to move in. I'm like, how are you asking? The rent is, say for example, the rent is $2,800, okay? But then you're asking for a security deposit of $4,000. Like, what the hell? And see, here's the thing. Here's a little tricky thing, y'all, about California. The security deposit in California can be whatever they want it to be. It does not have to be last month's rent. It could be less than last month's rent, or it could be more than last month's rent. And some of these places are asking for like 2 times the rent in security deposit. Not going to happen. Now, I don't have a problem with you telling, asking me to have renter's insurance because that's really for my protection. But you don't get to tell me how much renter's insurance I have to have. I'm like, you don't get to tell me that. Y'all, I just got to get it together and buy again next year. But in the meantime, I got to put up with renting, for at least another 9 months to a year. And I just don't want to stay here. I can't. These people have made me so uncomfortable. And I know for a fact that they're going to try to come at me sideways with an increase. And let's see. Yeah, so I got to be out of here before then, which is 2021. I've been here for a few years. We good. I would love to go home to DC. I really would. But at this point, if I decided to go home to DC, I would be single. It would just be me and my son. He's not my dude. It's not. He ain't trying to move there. At least not right now. He just came back to California a couple of years ago. He had been out of California for like a while. So, but I don't know. In my head, sometimes I think maybe I've stayed in California too long, and I just need to get the hell out of here. Sometimes I really think that, you know, and God just needs to release me. He just needs to release me. But he hasn't, so that's why I'm still here for my son. You know, I mean, if he was had everything, I don't have to worry about nothing. I don't have to worry about money or anything for him. Then I wouldn't have to be here. But until we can get what we need to get, plus I think if I try to move from California right now, I think my son's father would probably lose his mind. I think he would. Because and my son might too, because he worships his dad. He does. And that's his that's his dad's only that he's my only child, and he's his father's only child. His father don't have no other kids but my son. So yeah. But maybe, after he's retired, he won't like trip about it if I decide to leave. But he's still working. But he's older than I am, so he'll be retiring before I do. I'm watching how how they have these fires down here again today, you guys, and it's down in Orange County, in the it's the Portobello. I knew somebody that used to live there, like back in the '90s. Those are some nice houses, and they're saying that at least 500 acres have burned, and houses and structures have burned. I think those houses, even though they're like stacked on top of each other, they're like stacked on top of each other. You know how the houses were all close together in the series Weeds. They used to come on Showtime. How they were like, boxes. Yeah, that's how these houses are like close together. But these are like, I guess, because that's down in Irvine, and these are like, I would say now those properties were probably worth over $1 million, even though they don't have no damn land. It's location, location, location. Real estate 101. Location, location, location. And Irvine, if I am not mistaken, well, I don't know if it's still, it used to be, a lot of that land down in Irvine used to be leasehold. In other words, people had 99-year leases on it. Now, and the Irvine Corporation actually owns the properties and leaseholds them out. Now they may have, got rid of that, but I remember that they used to have those on leaseholds, because I remember when I used to do real estate lending and we were doing loans down in that area, a lot of those properties were leaseholds. Yeah, they're not like row houses though. These are like luxury type houses that are just stacked together. Yeah, they're not really like row houses. These are like, homes where they'll have like a foyer. Most of them are 2 stories. You know, they're like mini mansions, and they have that Spanish. They're those houses like with the Spanish tile, but not the older houses with the Spanish tile, but like these newer houses that were built like in the 70s and 80s. And yeah, some of them burned. They're saying that only one home was damaged, but 1,100 homes were evacuated, and some other structures were damaged. 3,000 acres. This is one of the fires. This is the one that's in Riverside County. The one in Orange County, that's the one where a bunch of houses burned. Yeah, it's almost November, and it's fire season in Southern California. Again, this this is when we had fires last year, you guys. When I was doing live, because when I was, because y'all know I've been listening to my own lives for the last, I don't know, what, week, 2 weeks. Y'all, there's like about 500 hours. And I keep doing lives. But yeah, but I'm going through like the first 300, and I remember when I was on mine from last year, when I first was doing lives like in October and November of last year, around this time, that I did a few lives when we were having fires. And some of those fires were close by, because one of the fires last year was over in the area where people like Magic Johnson live, like in the Bel Air Estates area, where they only have one way in and one way out. Just crazy how some of those places are. But we're in the Santa Ana winds are going right now. And so that's not helping. And then you got on the 15 freeway and on the 10 freeway, you got trucks, like 18-wheelers, blowing over from the winds. Hey, uppity unicorn. 18-wheelers are blowing over today. That happened today. I mean, the winds are so bad that they had to close 2 of the airports in Southern California, out in the inland. One in Orange County and one that is close in LA County, but close to San Bernardino. They had to close John Wayne, and they had to close Ontario. I mean, but that's not the only place the winds were. The winds were all over the place. They knocked out the power up in Hollywood. Crazy. And then we have the fires. And this is why the fires are spreading so much, because of the winds. Oh, you're talking about the Amy Coney Barron, the confirmation. Yeah, she was confirmed. They said that well, she's probably already been sworn in, because they said that Clarence Thomas was going to swear her in at 6 o'clock East Coast time. So she's already been sworn in. So even when Trump loses, yeah, right now they're even showing it on the late night news here. So even when Trump loses, he will have stacked the Supreme Court. I'm just saying. Because he's been able to put 2 people in there during his term because they didn't allow 44 to put one in before he left. Because if he had been able to, then the court would have been even with this, because he would have only been able to put one person in, this person. But it's like now you only have 3 quote unquote liberals on the Supreme Court. So whether 45 wins or loses, I'm telling you guys, Roe v. Wade is going to be heading to the Supreme Court. They're going to try to overturn that. You know, and I told you my personal opinion is that I don't think the government should be the one telling people what they can and can't do with, their bodies. And it's not like they're telling men. They can only tell what they're telling women. And it's men who are telling women for the most part. And this is not about us black women, because I'm sorry, they don't care if we're out there killing our babies. Let me just tell you that. They don't care if we're out there doing it. But statistically, we aren't the ones out there having all these abortions. Contrary to popular belief, we do not use abortion as birth control. We don't. Now, you just had a lot more black women taking birth control for a long time because we didn't want to have a bunch of kids, married or not married. And I'm just speaking in general, because your girl DC, I wanted 5, okay? I wanted 5 kids and I have 1, but I wanted 5. However, as I told y'all guys before, when I got divorced, we wasn't getting ready to have children and not be married. And that's just because I'm like, I was married with, if I waited till I was married with him, then for me it was like, well, it just was, it's already hard enough being a single parent, because I didn't expect to be a single parent, but I became one. So I wasn't going to be doing it for more than 1 kid. Oh yeah, the Republican judges are going to hurt. And see, here's the thing: what you guys don't know is that Trump didn't just put these people up in the Supreme Court. Man, he's got judges splattered all over the country that were appointed to their positions via this president. So he's already done that. He's already done that. And I mean, judges are supposed to be, they're supposed to be nonpartisan when they're up there in the Supreme Court. And they're not supposed to be going by their own personal beliefs. But there's no guarantee that they're not going to. And, I grew up in the Roman Catholic Church. I know how the Roman Catholic Church feels about abortion. I mean, just think about. I'm not sure if abortion is even yet legal in Italy, but I know that was one of the reasons why it was illegal in the country of Italy, because Italy surrounded the Vatican, and of course, their religion was predominantly Roman Catholic. You know, and yeah, I do think about, when you think about it, it is, to me, it's between that person and God, and the person, really them and their partner and God, and the rest of us, it's not our business, because we don't really know some of the situations. You know, it's not about that they don't want to have the baby, or it could be that they were raped. It could be the mother's life is in danger. It could be that it's not a viable, that it may not be a viable pregnancy. But I'm not going to even make excuses. The point is that what they want to do is outlaw abortion, period, under all circumstances. And I don't think that that's right. And I don't think that it should go back to this quote unquote therapeutic abortion, because that's what it was before. Therapeutic. And you know who got the therapeutic abortions? White women. And it was at the doctor's discretion. And of course, the ones who had the money, because then it'll go back to insurance doesn't cover it. You know? And then you go back to people who are unlicensed doing abortions. You're going to have women dying. These are true facts. These things will happen. You know? See, the thing is that a lot of people weren't around before Roe v. Wade, so they don't know how it was, you know? And I mean, I'm too young to remember before. I mean, because it literally became law when I was a kid. But by the time I was a teenager, I had friends who were going to get them. And they weren't getting them at Planned Parenthood. They actually were going to these, the abortion clinics. It was a lot different back then. It was crazy back then, but they were doing it. And it wasn't, these were, well lit offices, and it wasn't that kind of crazy stuff that was happening before Roe v. Wade. And I didn't have friends who were dying because they had an abortion. Yeah, we used to have very large families. I mean, my mom was one of 11 single births. Okay? That means my grandmother got pregnant at least 11 times. Hey, Terry. Hey, Misunderstood. And I mean, even in my generation, which is, kind of the beginning the end of the boomers, the beginning of the Xers. I got plenty of. I have several friends who have at least 5 kids. My best friend has 6. You know, I have a couple of other friends that have it. You know, 5 or 6 kids. But it's not the norm anymore. And that's among black, white, pink, purple. People are not having a lot of children anymore. And yet and still we still have this quote unquote fear of overpopulation. And I mean, and that's here in this country. There's other in other countries, I mean, they may have more kids, but I think like in China, didn't they have like at one point didn't they have restrictions on they could only have one kid to keep from having overpopulation? At least we don't have any restrictions here. It's basically you have the you can have as many kids as you want as long as you can take care of them. They are expensive. Kids are very expensive, and it's expensive. It's expensive now, especially with childcare. And then you have to put clothes on them. You got to feed them, and it's usually 18 plus years. It's not just 18 years in most cases. It is. You know, being a parent is a lifetime commitment. Please understand that fact. It is a lifetime commitment. Even when your kids are able to take care of themselves, we all, you know, if we can, you know, like to be able to call our parents, even if they can, even if it's not something they can do for us, just so that we can talk to them. Because like now, when I go through things, my dad can't do anything about it. I mean, he could maybe, but I'm not going to ask him. I mean, I'm over 50, my sister's over 50. What we look like asking our daddy to take care of us? You know, and I got kids of my own. So I don't know. And then the thing is that when you look at the millennials, they're not trying to have big families. A lot of them are waiting. They're not even having kids like right away. Even if they do get married in their 20s, they still are waiting to have children. So I mean, everybody ain't like Chrissy, strong mommy Chrissy, and all them damn kids. And what's the other one? And Jazzy. Everybody's not like them that has all them children. They're not like that. You know, most millennials, and I do consider them. Because what Chrissy did she turn 30 yet? I don't even know if she turned 30 yet. She's like in the same age range as my freaking son. She was born in the 90s. So, yeah. But most of the kids that were born in the 90s, they not running out here and having a bunch of babies. They're enjoying life for a little while. Now, I'm not saying some of them aren't, because yeah, somebody's having babies, because lots of babies are being had. But of course, since we've been locked up for the last 9 months, there might be a whole bunch of babies coming next year. You know, in a lot of situations, because 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 of the lockdown. Now, hopefully, they won't have to go through anything anywhere near what happened early this year. But right now, y'all do realize that corona cases are starting to go back up, like all over the world. Y'all realize that, right? Like, remember Italy, that was a ghost town and everything? Yeah, their corona cases are on the rise again, and they're a little concerned. And whether you believe in wearing the mask, don't believe in wearing the mask, you know, at least freaking social distance. I'm like, because if you still are one of those people who is of the mindset that this is not real, you are tripping. You tripping. If you still thinking that this is not real, I know people personally who have had it and also who have had it and died. And the ones that I know, that two of the people that I know that died were not in the high risk. Found out they had it 5 days later, they were gone. 5 days later, they were gone. So you can't tell me that it's not real when I've when I've had somebody on the phone trying to talk to me and they could barely breathe, and I'm just trying to tell them to get off the phone with me and go to the hospital over this stuff. But yet and still, you still have Mr. Trump having his 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 you know rallies, voting rallies, and people are not social distancing, and people do not have on masks. Makes you wonder if Mr. Pence really is negative. I'm just saying, how that man's still negative and everybody around him got it. Telling y'all, I question that. I question that. Exactly. But here's the thing with this one, and this is just my personal opinion. This one, I believe that it's several different ones that are going around. They ain't gonna get no cure for it. You know, has anybody ever gotten a cure for the common cold? No. We get it, we live, we move on. But this is not the same kind of thing. Some people live, some people don't live. It and I still feel that this president did not do a good job of protecting this country in regards to this coronavirus. It's my opinion. He's done nothing to change that opinion. He won't even take accountability. He blames China. But China's not to blame for every person in this country who got it. Mr. Trump, your administration played down the severity of it for several months. If you had started doing something 4 weeks earlier than you did do something, do you know almost 100,000 people would have been spared? But y'all don't hear me though. I'm just talking out the side of my neck. You know, Mr. Trump's wonderful. I'm crazy. You know, that's what it is. You know, so of course, you know, like right now with the fires going on here in California, I'm sure he's going to say that that's our governor's fault. Our governor, it's because we have a Democratic governor. That's why. Well, we had the fires when we had a Republican governor too. So was it Arnold Schwarzenegger's fault too? And I mean, this is how this man is. Yeah, they were very misleading. They've been very misleading with this. But you know, some of us had enough sense in the beginning to not pay attention to anything that that man was saying. We were telling y'all. We were saying it. We were saying, don't listen to the president. Social distance, mask up, isolate. You know, no one likes him, but the narcissist that he is, he believes that everyone loves him, and that the people that don't like him have poisoned everyone else, and it's their fault. That's how he is. Let me see, what time is it? We are almost at an hour. So let me see. David, are you going to come over here? Y'all know how this is. If I don't let him on, it's going to be a problem for me. Okay, give me a second, David. All right. Let me put on the camera. Hey, guys. He's waving at y'all. Okay. Whew. You guys. It's been a long day for DC. David has been getting on my nerves today. That's why I'm glad this meeting is tomorrow. But anyway, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. But as always, before I get off of here, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the west side. Yes, Hallie is still behind me. She's still back there. She's still back there. Storm from the X-Men. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Manana. Peace.